I'm your host, Rob, and this video, we're going to review Episode 8, the mid-season finale of The Walking Dead Season 4, Too Far Gone. Okay, guys, welcome back. So, I don't even know what else to say. I mean, I hope you guys read the description. There will be spoilers, of course. Before I get into the episode in and of itself, I just got to say that, I kind of knew Herschel, his end was coming, and the funny thing is that even with that, it was very painful to watch, because I think Herschel represents, for the group, their last link to humanity. I mean, he has kept Rick from going over the edge, and he has mentored Rick, and you can only hope, and I think this is the case, but you can only hope that he got through to Rick just in time. And I think with Rick's speech at the end of the episode, I think that kind of gave you an indication that he did. But the thing of it, and I think that's why he was smiling. I think Herschel knew his demise was coming, but he was happy knowing that with Rick finally getting it, that even if he was going, his daughters were in good hands. The episode was rough to watch, especially if you're a parent, because, you had Megan obviously die. And, even though she wasn't in the season very long, she was in maybe, 3 episodes. She's a kid, and, when you saw, God, I can't remember her name from season 2, the little girl, Sophia. When you saw Sophia in season 2 get shot by Rick, she was already a walker. You didn't see her get bit. You didn't see her get gunned down in a crossfire. She was already an undead, and it was sad enough to know that happened. But because she was already undead, we look at her differently. Where in this one, you see Megan get bitten, and you knew right there she's gone, no matter what. Then you see the car seat with baby Judith, and there's still question marks about that, and I'm going to get to that in a different video this week, because we're going to talk a lot of Walking Dead in the next 2 months. But with Judith, there's still question marks. Now, in my opinion, I think she's gone. I think that was their way of saying she's gone. I don't think they're going to make it that brutal, where they will show you her body or show you how she died and whatnot, but I think that was enough, because a lot of people are going to get turned off by this episode. And the reason I know this is because being a father, when you see the demise of other children, even on a TV show, it kind of hits you right here, because there's nothing more important to you as a parent than to protect your loved ones, especially when they're as young as these kids are, because these kids, for the most part, out of a TV show, most kids are not capable of taking care of themselves or protecting themselves, let alone doing so in a zombie apocalypse. So it has a different impact, I think, when you're a parent. So Megan's death and Judith's death, for me and my wife, were just devastating. And then you throw Herschel into the mix, and it was a very, very emotional sit down to watch this show on Sunday night, because my wife loves Herschel. That's actually him and Glenn are her favorite characters. So one of her favorite characters is already gone, and she was a wreck. She had she enjoyed it from the aspect of storytelling, and she appreciates the impact it had on her, but it really did emotionally drain her. And me, I was left in shock. Even though I had a feeling I knew what was happening, I was left in shock. Now, in terms of the story, obviously they took a different twist in the comic book, if you read the comic book. Different twist, same results, just some changes. And could I call this the Walking Dead version of the Red Wedding? I cannot, because Herschel's death, as impactful as it was only the only death in the group. I really thought there were going to be more than one. I mean, there were a lot of people dead, but a lot of them were insignificant. He was the most significant one. And a lot of people, I was reading forums, and people were trying to say, oh, well, it doesn't make sense that the governor killed Herschel, not Michonne, if he wants Michonne. But actually, if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. The governor is well aware of what Herschel means to the group. He's well aware that Herschel has kids. He's well aware that Herschel is important to Rick. He knows these things. So, Michonne would be too easy for him. Plus, believe it or not, I honestly feel that he was already beyond revenge. I think the governor truly wanted to just get the prison. I don't think he was doing it. This wasn't about revenge for him. This was about trying to protect his new group. I personally feel that if Rick had decided to give it up and walk away, the governor would have let him. I mean, even when Rick is giving the speech, you look at the governor's face, and it's almost like for a hot second there, he even considered what Rick was saying. But the governor, and this is from his perspective, and I can completely understand this because I probably would have reacted the same way. I think deep down inside, the governor probably wanted what Rick wanted, but he did not trust Rick, Daryl, or Michonne enough to put himself in that position where he can get killed in the middle of the night. And you know what? Who could blame him? If I was the governor, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. And even Rick, I mean, I think he would have done it for the time being, but I think Rick might have considered trying to off the governor in the middle of the night. So there was that, and that's what this is all about. Too far gone. The governor did way too many things to have any redemption in the eyes of the prison group, and he did way too many things to have any redemption for himself. He did not trust himself to do the right thing. No matter how much he tried to walk away from the governor, no matter how much he tried to right what the things he did wrong, he was too far gone. And again, this is the theme of this season, is coming back from the things you've done. And I think at this point, it's fair to say that yes, there are some things you can come back from, but then there's some things you can't. You know, Rick showed that he came back from being too much of a dictator, not trusting enough people, killing innocents. You know, like Tomas and I mean, granted, Tomas and the two guys in season 2 from the bar. I remember the episode name was Nebraska. Granted, those people tried to kill him or were attempting to harm him or gave an idea that they were, but there were still innocent people. There were still people, and Rick doesn't want to kill people. You know, it's just a very unfortunate end because you know Herschel was a casualty of war. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he was the most impactful because you know what? While people would have been pissed if Michonne had gotten killed, it would have been for different reasons. They wanted to get to know her more, or they want to see her badassery, or this and that. I think Herschel had a better impact in the end because people kind of took him for granted, even as a viewer. Like, oh yeah, Herschel's words of wisdom, or oh, Herschel could die at any moment. Like I said, I had a very good feeling he was going to die, and it still crushed my whole world. Because you don't realize the kind of you don't realize what he brings to the group as a character. You don't realize how important he is until you saw him just go. And I think the writers knew that. I think Scott Gimple knew that. Robert Kirkman knew that, and that's why they did it the way they did it. And I think they made it brutal because it hurts more to see him go that way because you want him to have a better death. You want him to die a hero. You want him to go in such a way that's not so brutal for his family. But that's not what this world is about. It's not about that. And I actually commend the writers and the creators for really going this far because it takes a lot for when it comes to children. I'm a softie, you know, especially for my kids. Outside of that, it takes a lot for me to even shed a tear. And like I said, the Sophia episode was one that made me shed a tear. This one made me shed a tear because of the kids in Herschel, and it stood with me. I even had trouble sleeping. I know that sounds crazy, but I even had trouble sleeping because I think to myself, God, man, if I'm in this world, if I was in that world, what would I do? I mean, I take care of my kids, and it was just, and that to me, when it has that kind of impact on you, to me, it's a 10 of a show. Now, I'm sorry to see David Morrissey go, and because I really think he brought so much to the governor character, and I'm definitely sad to see Herschel go. I think his name is Scott Wilson. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But boy, I tell you, this episode was everything I expected, but hoped I would have been wrong. And you know, in some cases I was. I really thought more people were going to die, but you know, I think Herschel was more than enough. Now, putting all that aside, you know, we you know, I know I didn't run through the episode. You know what? I really didn't have to. I think we all know the biggest part of the episode was the last 20 minutes. So now going forward, now we have 2 months we got to wait. The group is separated. We still don't know if Judith is really dead. I'm guessing she is. You know, Carl left with Rick. Michonne, I don't know where the hell Michonne went. Tara and Lily aren't dead as far as I can see. You know, the group on the bus is gone. I mean, it's going to be really crazy now to wait 8 weeks before we get to see what happens to these guys. And believe me, there's going to be tons of video talking about speculation going forward. I'm very excited now that everything's back up, the channel's back up, you guys are back, and we get to discuss this and really start some good speculation, because that's what I have the most fun doing. Why? Because I'm not a journalist. I'm not, anyone that has any access to anything. I just love to speculate and then find out if I'm right or wrong later. Outside of that, I really don't have anything else to say. It was a crushing episode. It was an excellent episode. David Morrissey just portrayed the governor, probably one of the best villains I've seen in some time. Herschel is just going to be. I think people are going to feel the impact of his absence more the next half of the season than they did just watching him die, because he did mean a lot. He was the voice of reason, and now we're not going to have that anymore. It's going to be interesting to see, I guess, who's going to take that place, if anyone. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's all I have. I mean, there's really nothing else to say. There's going to be plenty of time to speculate. We're going to talk about Morgan. We're going to talk about what we can expect to see next 8 episodes. What are they going to do to top this off for a season finale? The season finale's got to be bigger than the mid-season finale. How are they going to top that? I can't see it, but who knows? So we got a lot to discuss. We got a lot to digest. I still have not had time to really let this soak in. But now that I don't have to worry about an episode next week, we have 8 weeks to talk about as much Walking Dead as possible. I'm very excited. So you guys let me know what you want to hear, if you want to hear anything. But believe me, I got plenty of things I want to talk about, and we will definitely do videos about that going forward. So that's pretty much it, guys. I got nothing else. Rough episode. Sorry to see Herschel go, and I hope I hope I get over that pretty soon. Hopefully my wife gets over it. She's crushed. She's really hurt over this one. This one impacted her well. Anyway, guys, that's all I have. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for being here. You know what I'm referring to in terms of my switch over. And I will see you next video. Take it easy. Hey, guys. Welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. I'm your host, Rob. And this video, we're going to review Episode 8, the mid-season finale of The Walking Dead Season 4, Too Far Gone. Okay, guys, welcome back. So, I don't even know what else to say. I mean, I hope you guys read the description. There will be spoilers, of course. Before I get into the episode in and of itself, I just got to say that, I kind of knew Herschel, his end was coming. And the funny thing is that even with that, it was very painful to watch, because I think Herschel represents, for the group, their last link to humanity. I mean, he has kept Rick from going over the edge, and he has mentored Rick, and you can only hope, and I think this is the case, but you can only hope that he got through to Rick just in time. And I think with Rick's speech at the end of the episode, I think that kind of gave you an indication that he did. But the thing of it, and I think that's why he was smiling. I think Herschel knew his demise was coming, but he was happy knowing that with Rick finally getting it, that even if he was going, his daughters were in good hands. The episode was rough to watch, especially if you're a parent, because, you had Megan obviously die. And, even though she wasn't in the season very long, she was in